prettiest girls I've ever seen. A man in Kentucky sure is lucky to love down in Bowling Green. Bowling Green folks treat you kind. They let you think you're on mine. A man in Kentucky sure is lucky. In Bowling Green you walk your own line. Kentucky sunshine makes the heart unglow. It warms the body, and I know it touches the soul. Bluegrass is fine, Kentucky home's my Bowling Green, Bowling Green, Bowling Green, Bowling Green.
Hi, friends. Nick Shamus, president owner of Giant Felix Chevrolet at that big corner of Washington and Cadota Fig Boulevard. We have 6,400,000 cars and trucks ready for immediate delivery. And now, here's one of our sales managers driving through here. I don't know what this is. What is this? Oh, my God. Oh. And now we have Mr. Sergio Taco from beautiful downtown, smog-free Tijuana. Sergio?
Oh! Yes, folks. Well, thank you very much, Nico. Some of my American-speaking friends have been wondering how to pronounce Chevrolet in Spanish. It's actually very easy. You just say, Chevy. So come on down, but first, this is my dog, Gas. Now, Gas, what do you have to say? Gas, speak to us, Gas. Gas, speak, Gas. Now, Gas tells you, man, you better come down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sergio. And now back to our movie, Hansel and Gretel beat up the Wolfman.
I think this Disneyland trip is the greatest thing that ever happened to Beverly High. We all agree with that, don't we?
Oh, yes.
See you real soon. Why? Because we love you.
You can miss out school. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful.
In town, through the turbulence with me.
They're off! Pack! We're going down the hill. Turned it off. We're still going around the tree. One of the kids went off to the side, an accident. It's almost like a four-way tie for first place. Old Weird Harold shot past me. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me. But I'm getting the hell out of this car.
We had a lot of fun here in Disneyland, and I met Mickey Mouse and oh, we had Pluto. How about Pluto? Yeah, I didn't see his name. Oh, okay.
Actually, after the cups, I'm going to go and lie down for a while. Be sick.
Yeah. The first aid station's very close.
I ate a $3 sundae before I went on there. It's kind of all bounced around in it. It's not a chocolate malt. I got my airsick bad from Eastern Airlines. And it worked Sunday, you know, but I've got nausea pills if anybody needs them. Got
Little Red Riding Hood, I'd like to hold you if I could.
I think the Disneyland trip is Mickey Mouse. That's how I feel about it.
love you.
M-O-U-N-C.
I'll tell you one thing, they're ready. They're ready. So if each one of you guys do a job and nobody shows, and I don't think you will, we're just too good. We're just too damn good for these people. Shh. Don't worry about anything being censored. You guys just go out there and do what you have to do to win. All right, captains, let's take these people out there on the track, warm up, and let's just eat these guys up.
folks say a man's made out of mud, but a poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, skin and bones, a mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons, and what do you get? You get another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
That way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all.
How can they feel I shall be interested? What is this? Her face! Hers! Good heavens, it is the likeness of my wife! Some fearful mystery is here. Does she live to be the wife of Sir Michael Audley? Oh, for some means to be certain.
That is plucked and then cast aside. The garden of love has no place for them.
Water! Water! For mercy's sake, my head burns like fire.
Don't get it! This is some trick to escape me. Yeah. But I shall not leave you.
I do not wish you to. Stoop down and dip this in the well, that I may make my throbbing temples. Quick! Quick!
It is the last service I shall render you.
It is
She's gonna put it into the well.
Hi, friends. Ralph Williams Ford, Ralph Williams Chrysler, Ralph Williams Buick, and Ralph Williams Packard. I want you to come out here to my 6 lots lining either side of picturesque Forest Lawn Drive, or call me at Lemon, that's L-E on your dial, 36611. Over here, a beautiful 1942 Ford station wagon convertible, the only Ford station wagon convertible that I know of on the West Coast, going here at Ralph Williams for $666. Let's take a close-up of this marvelous interior. Look at that. Is that gorgeous? Okay, moving right along here, we have a 1935 Pontiac Indian, radio heater, white sidewall tires, a real beauty for $999. And look how just fresh this paint is, actually. In fact, I'm going to paint it myself here. Look at that beautiful paint. It's a real beauty, fresh paint out here at Ralph Williams on special here. Just 2 examples of some of our cars. It has 4 on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these 4 on the floor. Get off the floor, you guys. All 4 of them there. Okay. Oh, that's some out there. Okay, over here we have a beautiful universal seat. This seat fits the station wagon or the sedan. Oh, look at that seat, how that's going to fit in there. That fits so beautifully in the back seat of this new Pontiac 1935 Indian. Oh, boy, let's get it in and try it out for us, will you? There we go. Come on, Coach, let's see what you can show us. We're going to close the door. These are just 2 examples of the fabulous cars here at Ralph Williams. I got to find the card. Here's the card, ladies and gentlemen. Ralph Williams Packard at 15800 Forest Lawn Drive in the city of Versace. Thank you.
As we tuxedo girl, you see, we just love We don't go there anymore. He wears a tuxedo and gee how it fits. He looks like the head waiter up at the Ritz. And I
down that well, but it will be useless to search there now. For George, tall boys, is alive.
Alive! Back, woman, and thank that man you have not my death upon your soul. You will be scorned, loathed, and disposed for good.
Here, Jeff.
Australian artist. This, of course, is Radio Australia, the overseas service of the Australian Broadcasting Commission.
This school is about as far separated from reality as anything can get. It says students are not people. And you know why fewer students are going to class? Because there's less and less reason to go to class.
Well, our records were selling well, but it wasn't until we stepped off the plane, and there were thousands of kids meet us, we didn't really realise that, we were just so well known over here. You just can't say. It's probably a lot of things.
I think that the majority of students on this campus are mature students. And I think it's a very small minority of dissidents who create the problems for the majority.
And it's absurd. You've got to stop and you've got to look around and see what kind of junk they're throwing at you. And once you stop and look around, you got to stand up and say, this thing that they're doing is wrong.
Hippie, long hair, freak.
Thank you. Thank you. You got to say that this thing they're doing is wrong. And once you say that, you got to tell them what you want done to make it right. And you got to do it together. You got to do it together. And they're kicking you in the teeth every time you say that you want something done. And if you let them get away with it, you are a stupid. And you got to stand up and fight back. And you can't let them kick you in the teeth anymore. You've got to let them know that. Or be prepared to kick them back. That's about it. Now you stand.
All right, I just want to add a few things to what Steve said. And I want to start in the first place by saying,
The things that Steve was talking about, things I'm going to talk about, most of you know. We're not telling you anything new when we tell you that this school is about as far separated from reality as anything can get. And the irrelevance that has characterized the education, at least as long as I've been here, and I doubt it was any better before, is just going to go on to a greater extent, and they're going to keep handing out their public relations to the community, saying, Ladies' Home Journal says we're #1, best high school in the country. Well, maybe this is #1, and I haven't been to any other high schools, so I can't judge. But if this is #1, things are really sad. So I say, they're going to give you all these plans for next year, you know. It's been the classic stall for a long, long time. And next year, things are not going to be any different. They're going to say, oh, well, you can have individual conferences with teachers, and you can have all kinds of classes. You know how many new teachers they're hiring for next year? 3.
We've already employed and contracted 18 for next year. Not only do we have to cover the retirements and those that have resigned for various reasons, but we also are including extra staff for special programs. The big influx comes to cover our resource centers, because I think you're aware that we are going to provide resource centers for students to get specialized help.
But I won't argue with him when he says fewer students are going to class and fewer students are showing up on time. That's probably true. And you know why fewer students are going to class? It's because there's less and less reason to go to class. The ultimate would be to say to you, we understand your people, we know you can think. Go out, give us a little idea of what you're going to be doing on your own, and do it. But no, they put you in a classroom, and they give you a teacher, and they have the lowest student-faculty ratio of any high school in the country. They have 22 people in your class and 1 teacher, and that's better than any other school. And they're paying $1,400 a year for your education, and that's more money than is spent by any other school. And they're building a $12 million worth of facilities, $8 million worth of them behind this building. And that's going to give you the finest physical plant to have your education in, anywhere in the country. It's going to have a planetarium, it's going to have carpeting and air conditioning, it's going to have chandeliers in a lobby, and a senior quad with piped-in music, and it's going to have the whole thing, you know. And what's going to go on inside that building? They haven't told us that yet. They said, oh, we're going to have flexible scheduling. And when you get there, it's going to be a study hall.
We're not going to just put them in a regular study hall unless they can abide by the rules. If they take shortcuts, then they would be put into a regular study hall.
They're not interested in what I have to say, what Steve has to say, what you want to hear, how many of you are here, what the problem is. They don't really care, you know.
And if I didn't care about students, I couldn't be in this job. And I spent the last 22 years of my life at Beverly Hills High School. The last 26 years, all I've dealt with are teenage students or young men, 4 years of which I spent in the Navy training recruits during the Second World War.
As Dr. Robinson said, we've all seen this general deterioration. In the community, they'll tell you the community is up in arms. The people who live over there, they think this is a hippie colony. I don't care what the community thinks.
We care so much that it hurts.
I don't care what the stockbrokers at E.F. Hutton think.
And I feel I have to treat students on this campus as I do my own children.
I don't care what the businessmen who go to eat at Nibbler's think. That's the reason we can't have an open campus, because everyone would go flooding into Nibbler's, and Nibbler's would be upset.
Many of them want open campus. That means they could come and go as they please during the day. Open campus has been done away with in probably over 90% of the schools in California. You have people who come on and push narcotics on the campus.
Dr. Robinson in his letter cited, quote, aggressive acts of romance and amour taking place in the front lawn of this school. I haven't seen any aggressive acts of romance and amour, and I don't know how he who's sitting in his office can see them. Maybe he has reports from his people.
I always think that it's poor taste for anyone to try to create humor at an individual's expense and at his personal feelings.
Well, I really question what their concept of good taste.
I think we have to be sensitive to students' feelings, and this is the reason I don't think we should make fun of anyone who might have a religious belief that might be a little different.
Hot damn, it's groovy. I can wear, girls can wear jeans to school, and guys can grow beards.
Dress in outlandish garb or let their beards and hair grow. If they went into the community to try to get a job, 9 out of 10 employers will not hire a student that looks such as this. So this is life as it is. Whether it's right or wrong, this is beside the point. They will not be able to get jobs.
Like, I dig it, it's groovy, but one way or another, they're still gonna sit on me if I step out of line. And you know it, and everybody knows it.
And sometimes the students that you try to help the most feel that you're against them. But 4 or 5 years from now, they'll appreciate what you're trying to do.
They're busting more people for sitting out on the front lawn now than they ever did. They're busting more people for smoking on campus than they ever did. And this is because they want to blame it all on this ridiculous thing that they call the suspension of the dress code.
I think since our dress code went in, generally, we've had more discipline reports from teachers. We've had a dirtier campus. We've had 8 false fire alarms. We've had 6 actual fires that were actually set in lavatories.
And, we have 20 black students in this school. And they'll tell you, well, that's because of the community we live in. Well, that's tough. I can't take that for an answer anymore. Because if this school is going to deal with the crucial issues, it's got to bring in other people. It's got to make the effort. It doesn't have to take students going to it and getting down on their knees and saying, please give us an education. It's supposed to be here to be offering you the education.
Perhaps if college isn't the main requirement for students, there are other ways of getting an education. You'll have to go to private schools to do this.
Maybe we will come to the day where we can get enough people to walk across the street and stand on someone's private property and say, we're not coming back to your school till you make it better. We're students, we're human beings, we're going to assert ourselves, we're going to study what we're interested in studying, we're going to learn under the context of what we think education is. We want this school district to include a more realistic approach to the world around it. We want a more humanistic level, we want less bureaucracy, and more reality brought into the school. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should get up and walk out of the school now and demand changes.
The way I see it, I see didactic change is very healthy at the high school. I think you should work within a system. I think that there's a substantial difference between blatantly condemning the construction of a new building and condemning the various offices and saying, well, now we've got it, how can we utilize it best for our own advantages? I think the difference between myself and someone perhaps as Steve Lavender or Danny Burstein is not one of philosophy, but perhaps one of strategy. I would say that in the past, things have never been done by the type of violent confrontation that these boys are suggesting. I'm not saying that this is entirely wrong, but I say perhaps the most feasible method would be to take the structure that we have, to take a high school student government and make it truly into a voice. I think if you can take an organization like this, and I can't say that, put balls in. You could really have a type of organization that you could be proud of. Without student government, you would have a totally impotent voice of student government. With it, you do have the potential of creating the type of change that you're looking for.
Clouds so swift, rain won't lift, gate won't close, railings closed. Get your mind off winter time. You ain't going nowhere. Right behind. Tomorrow's the day the bride's gonna come. Oh,
name is Emil Farkas.
And is it true that you're going to wrestle Coach Keeler tonight?
Well, I presume so.
Okay, thank you.
Level 4.
With eyes that showed no trace of misery, the phrase in connection first with she, a bird that just a four-letter word.
Morning girl, how'd you sleep last night?
Let's hear it for the monkey. Woo!
Round mirror, keep on going.
It's the time
Of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me.